Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. Okay, so full story. I did an entire new moon in Cancer reading last night, and for some reason I woke up this morning and I was like, I don't think that's the reading. I don't think that, like, it felt right in the moment and it made a whole bunch of sense. But this morning I woke up and I was like, no, there's another message here. There's another message here. So I'll probably post both of them today, but definitely wanted to re-record and present this one. So let's talk about the new moon in Cancer, which is today. The Moonology card for the new moon in Cancer says you and your loved ones are safe. And of course, because we're talking about a new moon, this is the idea that a new start is coming. That's what new moons mean. So we have a new start. And of course, if you've been on my channel for quite some time, you understand that we've come to the point in the cycle of the moon's energy where we are gathering up everything we've learned over the previous moon cycle, not just back to the last full moon, which was about 2 weeks ago, but also back to the new moon before that. And I believe that new moon was in Gemini. So, and we're also in the season of the Cancer zodiac. We've moved from Gemini to the Cancer sign. Okay. So yes, a new start is coming, but we're in this phase of, again, gathering up everything we've learned in the past moon cycle to figure out, okay, now we're moving through this portal of the sign of Cancer and the moon, and is everything that we're taking for our own, not so much for our own good, but for the good of home, for the good of our own bodies, our self, like our sense of selfhood. That is the question when we're looking at making new intentions for this new moon in Cancer. Okay, so now we have, I've pulled out the Helper card for a Chariot, and Chariot is represented, it's the major arcana card that represents Cancer in Tarot. And so this is the idea of a transition, an actual vehicle to another level, or an actual vehicle just to transport you around. This could also mean being in control of your success regardless of the direction, right? Regardless of the direction you're going in. This is also about travel and adventure. This card could also deal with the digestive system, or show that maybe you have new energy for a new exercise program. Okay, so I'm going to put that up there, and I'm going to go ahead and read the new moon in Cancer card, and then we'll jump into our tarot. Let me see if this is too dark. I don't know, this might be too dark. Hold on, let me turn on the light here. Okay, there we go. Okay, so let's go ahead and read the new moon in Cancer. There's a new start coming in your private life. Something is rising up in connection with the people and places you hold dearest. This can do with a member of your family, a flatmate, or moving house. If you're hoping to move forwards with something special in your private life, this card comes to you as a message that you can do it. If you've been neglecting your family, it's time to reconnect with them. If you've been neglecting yourself, you need to take better care of yourself and nurture yourself more. If your insecurity is holding you back, that's something for you to work on now. Doing so could bring you your heart's desire. To attune to the moon, make sure you put family first. Additional meanings for this card: let someone get a bit closer to you. A new cycle is starting for your child or children. It's time to review your goals. Have they changed? Meditation will help you banish your insecurities. Spending time near water will bring you peace and answers. The teaching. The new moon in Cancer can be a super emotional time. The moon is all about emotions, and Cancer is a water sign and also very emotional. Saying that, the moon is very happy in the sign of Cancer. It's one of her 2 home signs, along with Taurus. So whenever you pull it, this card suggests that whatever happens next will be in your favor. It's especially positive for family matters. Okay, awesome. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to put this new moon card aside and set up this new moon in Cancer card so that we can stay in touch with the energy of the reading. And I'm going to go ahead and pull, a theme card for this reading from the Wild Unknown Archetypes deck. And we will get started with what kind of energy might be coming forward with this new moon in Cancer. And as a reminder, this may or may not resonate with everyone. This is a reading that is, it's a tarot reading, but I also use my intuition while I'm doing it. So I might feel into different meanings for the signs, different meanings for the cards than, yeah. Okay, let me go ahead and continue here. I'm going to cut the deck and reshuffle so that we get a good hearty difference in our cards here. Okay. All right. Okay, Spirit, can you come into this reading for the new moon in Cancer? Give us a theme or an idea of what we might be working through with this new moon in Cancer. What might we be working through with this new moon in Cancer? Thank you, Spirit. The 1. Okay. Oof. And the Temple. Beautiful. This one was poking out. Why? The Queen, of course. This one poked a little bit too. The Orphan. No. All right. Okay, so I'm pulling out these 3 cards. I'm not going to talk too much about them, but on the bottom was the Shadow, which was actually a card that came out in the first reading. That's on the bottom of the deck. So I think this might even be an expansion on the reading that I did last night. So let's talk about it. So at the bottom of the deck, we have the Shadow. And I think this is what we are finding once we've gone into our own shadow. We're finding this and understanding. I think this is even like after the integration of the shadow. This is diving deep and understanding in this season, the season of Cancer and this new moon in Cancer. This is really focusing in and honing in on who we are as the aligned person that we are. This is really trusting in ourselves as the one, right? And we look at the Temple card here, and Cancer sign is all about family and home. So if you're aligned within yourself, what does your temple look like? That could be talking about your body. This could be talking about a new exercise program or some sort of new approach with how you treat your body or how you are embodying your sense of alignment, how you are celebrating your sense of alignment. And then, of course, we have here the Queen. The Chariot, I mean, Chariot and the Cancer card, not just Chariot. The sign of Cancer, I always have this idea of this kind of divine, when I say divine, I talk about divine feminine, but here it has this feeling of not just a divine mother, but this is how we mother, period, is we mother ourselves first. We mother our sense of alignment. We align with it. We we don't just align with that sense of mothering ourselves. We mother our alignment to our energy. We mother how we exist and keep that alignment connected with our temple, with our body, and with the people or places or things that are external to us. So we never lose that idea of being a parent to ourselves, right? In this sense, being the queen of our own alignment, being a queen of our own temple. And once we embody that and the queenhood, the mother, and I look at the queen as this royal mother. This is the embodiment of, it's like this embodiment of divine motherhood come to earth in a form of a queen, right? And so this queen is just acting as a divine mother, a representation of a divine mother. So there's an alignment here, right? There's an alignment here. And this all comes from having integrated into a full understanding of the self, even the darkest and most unknown places of the self become brightened. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's pull some tarot cards. So I used my Dream Enchantress deck the last time, and it's very powerful. But I wanted to kind of go through and use my, you know what, no. Let's see. I'm going to ask Spirit which card deck I should use. I've been vibing with the Dream Enchantress deck. I've been vibing with it, so I'm going to stick with it and maybe clarify with the Wild Unknown Tarot. So let's go ahead. I'm going to shuffle these again. Yeah, this new moon in Cancer seems like, even though there's a lot, there just seems like there's a lot of an idea of family around it. There is this idea of first embracing the self as the origin family, right? The family of origin. Like, how are you in your body? And I keep thinking of this, the Judgment card in the Rider-Waite deck shows, you know, this call to a new life, and it shows, that's what I feel is here, is this, there's a new life that is calling, and this is a time of not just spiritual ascension, but also even changing the idea of what home is, or establishing a new home. So let's go ahead and ask Spirit. Spirit, what is the message for the new moon in Cancer? What is the message for the new moon in Cancer? Thank you. We've got 2 cards here. All right, another card here. Can we get one more card, please, Spirit? Oof. Can we get one more card, please? Oop. being difficult there. Can I get one more card? Oh, that just rolled right on out. Okay. Wow. All reversals. All reversals. And of course, at the bottom of the deck, we also have a reversal. I'm going to move this just a tad over here. Let me make sure you can see all of this. You can. Okay, good. Okay. First up in the reverse is the Tower in reverse and the Seven of Wands in the reverse. Then we have the Three of Swords in reverse. And finally, the Queen of Cups in reverse. Interesting, right over the Queen card there. At the bottom of the deck, we have the Knight of Pentacles in reverse. All right. This is about the overall of this. I can see from the bottom of the deck card, we've got the Knight of Pentacles in reverse, and this is about an offer being pulled back, an offer of this is almost it's an offer being pulled back, but it is in order. It's like it's an unanchoring. It's a removal of, I get the sense that it's a removal of roots even. Like that's the image that's coming to my head. There's a removal of roots here, or an upheaval of roots. Something is moving, someone is moving. You could be moving, you could be changing location, or it could be you're changing the idea of what home is, even if you're not moving like residencies, right? You could be removing an idea that had you rooted in a place of how you thought about yourself, or how you thought about resources, things like that. How you thought about, oh, I was going to stay where I was, but now I'm not even in a mental state. You're moving. And so here with this Tower in reverse, even though the Tower is in reverse, a lot of times it's the same meaning as the Tower upright, but just like less of a huge impact. So this is, I sense this is a subtle change, or a subtle change that is going to, it's still going to bring you, because, a lot of times tarot readers, and myself included, say that when you get the Tower card, the Tower doesn't come to hurt you. Change doesn't come to hurt you. It comes to help you, right? And so in this, the One card, right? It's right aligned. It's aligned, right, with the One card. And so there might be this idea that you have about yourself. With this Tower in reverse, there's an idea here, or an illusion that is being knocked out of the way. Like it's almost like this one last illusion that is being knocked over, knocked out of the way. And the Seven of Wands says you no longer have to be defensive about this idea that you had. You no longer have to be defensive, or feel like you, it's almost like you no longer feel like you have to have an advantage here. Like sometimes our need to know that we are, how do I describe it? Sometimes it's really good to have an advantage, but usually the idea of having an advantage means that we know that we can, we know that we can beat something. We know that we can be ahead of something, right? And so here, the illusion of an advantage is coming down. And so understanding what advantages, what is actually the message behind having an advantage. The message behind having an advantage is sometimes that we feel, oh, I need to have a leg up against these different actions. I need to be prioritized. I need to be, this, I need to be that. And it's like, guess what? You don't need to have this idea of, you don't need to have an advantage, right? You don't need to have, because that means that you need to have approval, or you need to be higher up, or you need to fight up. The original of this card in Rider-Waite shows, when it was in the upright, and not specifically for this card, but the Rider-Waite version of this has someone fighting off people who are trying to take that advantage away, instead of using this opportunity, the opportunity that they have to get away and go live the life that they were meant to live. So this Tower in reverse and the Seven of Wands in reverse says, you don't need an advantage. You don't need to, this advantage, or this advantage that you thought you had or thought you needed, was an illusion. And it's the last thing that you need. It's the last I'll say domino. It's the last domino that you need to fall in order to be in full alignment and realize and encompass your own alignment with this energy of being the one. You are the one, right? Okay. So let's take a look at this Three of Swords in reverse, the Temple. To me, this Three of Swords in reverse, of course there is the connection and the connection with this idea of, let's just move ahead with it. Three of Swords in reverse here shows, I think there is this deprioritization of someone else's ideals on your life. This is not allowing a corruption of ideals in the heart space. And I say ideals, there is also a connection with, you understand that you understand the pure location of your previous ideals, even though those ideals were not suitable. You understand. Okay, that's what it is. Sorry. You understand how unsuitable it was for you to have ideals in this. You to have your ideals in this certain situation or certain application. So somewhere, there's this illusion, the illusion of an advantage, or even you, oh gosh, I need an advantage. I need a one up. And it's like you're not being driven by that anymore. You're being driven by this sense of alignment within the self. And so here we are at the temple, and you're understanding, wow, I had all my ideals. I was building my temple on these ideals. And now it's like you're no longer building your temple on ideals that are misaligned or mismatched, right? There were so many ideals that you were building off of in a completely different timeline, right? That were just not going to work out. They were not yours. They were not going to work out. So now you're understanding, I build my temple on my ideals, because the Three of Swords in reverse says there is no confusion of ideals here. There is none. I am building this temple on my idea and ideals alone. right? I'm building my temple on my ideals alone with no illusion of needing an advantage, because that's an illusion. I'm aligned with myself. I'm aligned with my own energy. And I'm understanding and building my temple from that. And no one needs to approve of it. No one needs to align with it but me. This is my, like, it's really just this ownership of you, like, this is the ownership. I say my, but I'm speaking in terms of the collective, right? So this is you and me and the collective saying, I don't need to build on other people's ideals. I don't need to adhere to other people's, other people's thoughts or communications or misunderstandings or mismatched communications, right? I am aligned with myself, and I'm doing what I can in my own temple, because that's where I have to be aligned. So finally we have this Queen, the Queen card here with the Queen of Cups in reverse. Now the Queen of Cups in reverse, we've got the Queen of Cups in reverse here. This is someone who, in the upright position has, this is someone who bridges the gap between the shadow and the emotional life, right? This is someone who can, you can hold emotion. This is someone who can hold emotion and allow space for it, because she understands what it means to be in the dark. She understands she understands difficult emotions. She understands the nature of other realms, right? But in the reverse here, it's not so much that I see the Queen of Cups acting externally in a way that is like harsh or anything. What I see here is someone who says, I am entering the darkness. I've entered the darkness for myself. I've entered it, and I'm holding a safe space for myself, because this can be seen as someone who is defensive, someone who uses the shadow, uses the nature of the shadow in a way that is, this is a queen using her shadow. But I think this is a queen understanding her shadow for herself. This is almost like, I don't know what it would be called if a queen or a king ever went on like a spiritual retreat. I've never heard of a queen like taking a break or leaving the kingdom, but I think this is really the queen, this Queen of Cups being emotionally defensive of her own personal queendom, her own sense of self. And I think that's what we're looking at with this new moon in Cancer, is really like closing, that's what it feels like, closing in the ranks to focus on you, focus on me. Like it's not so much being externally focused to handle a whole entire realm. I really feel like there is this sense of pulling back into the self, to focus on the self, and to engage that inner strength and nurture that too, because the Queen of Cups is very much a nurturer. Yeah, this is interesting. Queen of Cups is very much a nurturer, someone who can nurture the emotions, someone who can nurture people that approach her, right? But this is the Queen pulling that nurturing energy back for herself, taking time to focus on the self, taking time to focus on the Queen energy. Like it's like it's like a queen retreat, you know, but it's definitely in order to fully embrace that idea of what does it mean to be a queen that feels. And that is essentially what the sign of Cancer is, a queen that feels, right? Wow. Okay, so I've gone on for a bit. Let's go ahead and get you some guidance and get you on your way. In this energy, so I've been using this deck for quite some time, and I'm just going to finally pull it out for this reading. I'm loving it. It's called the Kali Oracle deck. This is by Alana Fairchild. Now I will say, you know, I like the idea of Kali. Kali is, she is a dark goddess. She has this fierce energy, but she has so many different sides of her. And I would love to see the fierceness that may come from this particular reading. So I'm going to call on Spirit to come in with a message from Kali for this reading. Okay, thank you so much, Spirit. All right, Spirit, can we get a card, Kali card, for this reading for the new moon in Cancer? Can we get some guidance for this reading for the new moon in Cancer? All right, can we get some guidance? Can we get some guidance for the new moon in Cancer reading? Oops. Can we get some guidance for the new moon in Cancer reading? All right, I'm going to do it one more time. Can we get some guidance for the new moon in Cancer? I'm just going to pull from the center now. Okay, we have Yuga Shakti. And at the bottom of the deck, we have Dakshina. So I'm just going to read Yuga Shakti, and it's interesting. This is number 13 card, and I always associate 13, the number 13 period, with this idea of divine, the divine feminine. So let's go ahead and see what Yuga Shakti has to share with us. All right. Yuga Shakti. Her timing is fierce with compassionate wisdom. Yep. To love her is to honor her greater knowing. She demands the surrender of our futile attempts to control that which is beyond our sphere of understanding until that pain transforms into the sweet pleasure of release. Even the right thing cannot attain fruition at the wrong time. Trust her and be shown again and again that her divinely orchestrated workings of time serve you faithfully with love and grace. Kali's outstretched tongue and open mouth signify her fierce form as the devouring divine warrior goddess. Time emerges from Kali and ends with her. To birth the new, she devours the old. Persistence for clinging to what has been, the attachment to our past pain and fear of an unknown future are no match for her genius and unwavering will to clear it away to provide the best conditions for the next chapter to unfold. There are cosmic cycles within which the personal cycles in our lives must align. There are karmic time frames that govern soul contracts and relationships, the timing of life circumstances and changes of fortune, and the opening up of pathways for us. Using our free will, we can enhance the flow of healing and do all we can to ready ourselves to step forward at the appropriate moment. Yet it is the Divine Mother in her infinite wisdom and regenerative power that knows and enacts the perfect transition at the best time. She orchestrates the shifting of individual and collective cycles to be in harmony with each other, so every being gains spiritual benefit through what unfolds. The Oracle of Yuga Shakti confirms that you are going to experience considerable change. Yeah, And that's in this Tower card. And look, all these cards are in the reverse. All of these cards are in the reverse, which talks about things are changing. Things are changing here. The timing of this unfoldment is significant. There are many factors at play. You will sense when the correct moment is upon you. During this time globally, the light of spiritual knowledge is partially subsumed within the darkness of ignorance and confusion. Oh wow, am I right? Even those with the awareness to have positive intentions can become confused and place profit above integrity, attack brothers and sisters on the path, or lay claim to knowledge on false foundations. Even when our intentions are noble, in effect, our actions can create further suffering. Such conflict and confusions are signs that asuric or negative forces have gained the upper hand. Kali Ma's darkness and ferocity are required to redress the spiritual imbalance. And that was actually part of yesterday's reading, was sensing some sort of imbalance. We are in particular need of her most terrifying manifestations when we become confused as to what belongs to the highest sacred truth and what does not. Do not allow yourself to be convinced by another of anything. Yep, that's that Three of Swords here. That's you understanding what's for you and not what others, not letting others put their ideals on your heart. Okay. Lean into your heart connection with the divine, to the divine. Inner clarity and higher understanding will arise for you. You will see how close the chapter on the past. You will see how to close the chapter on the past and move into a new cycle. Unique to the iconography of Kali and the Hindu tradition from which she emerges is her poked out tongue. Kali's tongue represents her wild mystery teaching. The tongue is the organ of discernment, digestion. What is that? Chariot. With Chariot card here is also representative of the digestive system. And speech. It assists us in taking the right things in and expressing ourselves as we choose. Our mother tongue means the language of our birth. Kali is the cosmic mother tongue. She is the original spiritual language of our hearts and souls. Look at that, the one, the temple, and the queen. We are in alignment with our own spiritual language. She is the original spiritual language of our hearts and souls. Hers is the language of spirit and light, of the truth beneath the form, and the reassurance that although we must submit to the shifting of greater cycles, those cycles ultimately move for our greatest spiritual benefit. When Kali unfurls her tongue with ferocious expression, she is embarking upon spiritual deliverance. It is the action that precedes her bringing about the end of a diabolical era of greed, fear, confusion, hatred, self-righteousness, and negativity. The tongue of Kali is a reminder that no matter what we may see unfolding before us, there is always a pathway back to the heroic and beautiful. If you have been struggling to let go of a negative legacy, perhaps one that extends back through generations or has infiltrated a group you belong to, this oracle signifies that a radical divine intervention shall take place. Call upon Kali for such assistance now. Know that an era of darkness is going to end. Unexpectedly and suddenly, a new spiritual dawn shall arise. An entirely new era is due to unfold. Keep close to Ma. She shall ensure it is brought into being in the best way at the best time. Okay, so we have an invocation ritual. I'll go ahead and give you some time, just a few seconds. And I'll mark this so that you can come back to it as well. Say the following prayer of invocation aloud. Beloved Kali Ma, Yuga Shakti, creatrix and birth mother of every cycle of time. From the birth and death of world ages and universes to the chapters that open and close in my life. Your wild grace opens my heart. And as your child in need, I implore you to bless me, keep me close, and ensure all transitions are secured within your wisdom and grace. For the spiritual benefit of all, Jai Ma Kali. After you've done this, imagine, feel, intend, or visualize a fierce ocean of blood boiling and bubbling away deep in the center of the universe. It is wild and powerful and filled with life force. Old cords of connection, outmoded thoughts, ideas, and plans can be cast into this boiling red ocean. All offerings transform into smoky black ash, rising up from this fiery ocean, transformed. The ash is sacred. It instinctively and lightly settles wherever it is needed, providing Kali's blessing of protection. You may see, sense, or feel the ash settling upon the earth, upon the foreheads of beings, and the many places in all dimensions and directions in need. You do not direct the movements of her blessing. You simply witness it with reverence and trust. Complete your process with your hands in prayer and bowing your head. You have completed your sacred process. Okay, that is the reading for your new moon in Cancer. I will post this one first, and I'll post the second one later this evening so that you can watch both and, choose, what, I'll post both of them in whatever order you want to take a look at it. You can look at it. Okay. All right. Thank you so much. I hope you have a wonderful new moon experience, and I will return with another video towards the end of the week. Thank you so much. Bye.